Well, we have a potential tropical cyclone in the Pacific, and Hawaii is squarely in the cone.
We're going to break down what could play out on the islands. A live report from Honolulu coming up tonight on Weather Unfiltered. We're glad you're with us. I'm Alex Wilson.
I'm Mike Bettis, and we know also another major story that's playing out is the Midwest again. Yeah. We cannot catch a break here because it's been day after day of storms, significant flooding today.
We've got flash flood emergencies happening today. Entire towns have been underwater in the rain. It's not over yet. We've got more rain, more storms coming through some of the same communities.
So the states that we've been following, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, creeping down into Kentucky and West Virginia, we're calling your name again. Please be careful tonight. It is very dangerous.
Yeah, I want to show you some of the images that are coming out of places like Cambridge. So we're not quite there with tropical storm development, but the expectation is that we're going to get there. So that's why the National Hurricane Center uses that potential tropical cyclone terminology, allows them to issue warnings before you have the entity itself, because you're going to get it. 40-mile-an-hour winds. And I know you're thinking, well, why don't we have a tropical storm right now then? We're at 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's because we don't really have much organization. The convection, the storms associated with this, not really confined around a well-organized center at this point. So because of that, can't really designate it as a tropical storm just yet. It is moving to the west. The understanding or the expectation forecast from the National Hurricane Center is that this will be Tropical Storm Lala tomorrow. So by Thursday, we expect a tropical storm that will be approaching Hawaii. That movement right now to the west turns more northwesterly. So that's going to put the Hawaiian Islands very much in our forecast cone here for this storm. Looking at rain to start to pick up on the Big Island on Friday, overspreading other islands Saturday, and the farther north and east islands, or north and west, excuse me, by the day on Sunday. So obviously, closer to us, the Big Island, you're going to see rain first at the start or end of the week, start of the weekend for places like Maui, and then you get up towards Kauai a little bit later into the weekend. Winds could be an issue depending on the exact track of this storm, but the big potential looks to be rain. Some heavy rain possible on those slopes. That means mudslides or landslides, also the possibility of flash flooding. So a forecast we are watching very closely. And because of that, we've got meteorologist Reynolds Wolf on the island. He is live right now in Honolulu, Hawaii. A rarity. We talk about these islands that are out in the ocean. I think people would think it's more of a commonplace thing for Hawaii to be hit by tropical systems. Not the case. So this must be raising bells.
Oh, without a question. I mean, you got to think about the Pacific Ocean being our planet's
record highs and record warm low temperatures on the docket for us. All across sections of especially the southeast and south central. But notice a little bit of the Ohio Valley, parts of the Midwest in play. Florida, another spot where we will likely be seeing records falling, or at the very least, tide. Hot daytime temperatures along with humidity going to make things pretty unbearable. Now, these are just the high temperatures. So expecting triple digits for Dallas, for Oklahoma City, for Wichita, 90s in Houston and Jackson and New Orleans, also in Macon and Memphis. Then you factor in the dew point, though. Those numbers getting into that uncomfortable territory. And so feels like temperatures will be well into the triple digits for many spots. Some areas even exceeding 110. Wichita likely feeling like 110 degrees or warmer. Same for Laredo. Triple digits in Macon, triple digits in St. Louis, Oklahoma City, and Dallas as well. Heat risk, that means, will be very much a concern here. We've got, high school sports practices that are happening outside. We're thinking about moving things early, late. Same for our own exercise plans. You like to jog, right after work at 5 p.m. Not going to be the time to do that. Same for walking your dog, early and late in the day, because we've got major, even extreme heat risk coming our way on Friday and into the upcoming weekend.
2 to 3 days.
Yeah, some of these areas are just tapped out when it comes to rainfall. They cannot handle additional rainfall. Now we look at what's been happening here season to date. So this is rainfall since June 1st. A place like Kansas City, about 4.5 inches above average, about 1.5 inches below in Indianapolis, although obviously short term central Indiana has been seeing all sorts of troubles. Columbus a little bit below, but again, short term we've seen some higher amounts, and Charleston, West West Virginia running above average with about 19 1/3 inches of rain for the season. You were a spot that last night also had some flash flooding. So we can look at the season as a whole, and just because you're running below average doesn't mean you can't see flash flood problems. Case in point, the last few days where it's just been too much too quickly, even though you're running below average and it's making up a deficit. If it comes too fast, you still get the flash flooding issues. In Des Moines, we've got the opportunity for more rain, more thunderstorms coming your way Thursday. I think definitely during the morning is going to be the prime time for that. Hit or miss thunderstorms out there again on Friday. Saturday, mix of sun and clouds. Can't rule out an isolated shower or storm. And then by Sunday, yet again, another morning where we're waking up to some rain. So if you're like me and you love a good morning to sleep, there you go. Sunday, it's the rain coming down. You just pull the comforter up over your head and you get an extra hour of Z's. All right, we got Des Moines here moving into the day tomorrow. That's when I think we see some not just showers and thunderstorms, but perhaps some higher end rainfall rates, some punchy thunderstorms. Hail will be a possibility along with gusty, damaging winds. By lunchtime, they're moving on out off to the east. Things stay scattered into our Thursday, Friday, a little bit more in the way of opportunities. I think in this case coming during the overnight. So hopefully that keeps some people from getting into it on the roads. We go now to the Pacific Ocean, where we've got potential tropical cyclone 1C. This is expected to become tropical storm Lala tomorrow. I know you're looking at the winds going, wait, 40 miles an hour. Aren't we there? Not quite. We need a little better organization to the thunderstorms around the center, but the cone does include the Hawaiian Islands, and that's where we find meteorologist Reynolds Wolf. He is there in Honolulu, Hawaii, with the very latest and talking to folks about how they're preparing. Reynolds.
Most definitely. This is one of those days. Back to you, Alex.
Well, I was going to say, I really hope we are looking at the upper half of your body. I hope the bottom half is like a Speedo or some board shorts so you can go and, catch some waves in the breaks.
Some shorts, but hey, super fast, Alex, you'll appreciate this. Wearing sandals, but the sandals were shaking a little bit this morning. Alex, you'll appreciate this morning when we signed on around 1 o'clock. There was actually an earthquake about 26 miles east-southeast of Naalehu. So not only do we have issues up there, and certainly to our east, but on the ocean floor, things are rumbling. Sandals or not, or Bermuda shorts or not, as it were. Back to you.
Right? You're getting it all. The only earthquake I've been in, I was at the beach as well. So there must be something to it. Reynolds, thank you so much. SPF in the meantime, right? And hopefully you get to do some swimming too. Let's take a peek at potential tropical cyclone 1C. Potential tropical cyclone, because we're not quite there yet. We've got still some disorganization. We need to see a little bit more organized thunderstorm activity near the center of this storm. So a little bit more broad and disorganized at this point. So despite the 40-mile-an-hour winds, we can't yet call it academically a tropical storm. It will be Lala, and the expectation from the National Hurricane Center is that we'll get that tomorrow. So expecting tropical storm Lala tomorrow, strengthening as it makes its way off to the north and west, does include the Hawaiian Islands in our forecast cone. So that westward movement right now, around 9 miles an hour, shifts to more of a northwesterly motion. By Thursday evening, 50-mile-an-hour winds. By Friday evening, 65-mile-an-hour winds. So slow strengthening anticipated. And by Friday, we're going to start to see some rain on the Big Island. The exact track will, of course, determine the biggest effects. But right now, the major concern is going to be for very, very heavy rain. 5 to 10, up to 20 inches of rain possible, especially on those slopes. Remember, upslope winds will help to enhance the rainfall. And so mudslides, flash flooding, that's going to be the major concern. But winds could be an issue. And, of course, waves could be an issue out of this. When we look at tomorrow night into Monday, rainfall totals currently, you can see we've got amounts up to even over a foot of rain possible, and that's why water